Welcome to the University of Michigan Dentistry Podcast Series, promoting oral health care worldwide.
And now we're going to proceed to make our surgical guides. Initially, we adapt some triad and take the 4.2 millimeter drill blank and just push it into the uncured triad, creating these depressions in the area where we want to place the implants. And you can see that from above, that we have our record base made, and there are these depressions that were created by just taking a drill blank and supporting the lingual aspect with our fingers or our thumbs and just pushing the soft triad back. Ahead of time, I've made 3 of these: a 2.2 millimeter drill, a 2.8 millimeter drill, and a 3.5 millimeter drill. So this is a 2.2 millimeter drill blank. We do the same thing in terms of orienting it exactly, just perfectly over the place we had selected for our implant location. Remember that we have verified this with a radiograph, so location and angulation are good. Now, lifting straight up in the air without turning at all, we again take triad gel and lower our drill blank right down to our spot on the crest of the ridge. Now remember, unlike our x-ray guide for making surgical guides, it's only necessary to surround the lingual 180 degrees of this drill blank. So again, I like to use the large P.K. Thomas instrument for coaxing or positioning the triad gel. And again, I may cover a little bit of the buccal or labial aspect of the drill blank at this stage, but all I really need when we're all done is the lingual 180 degrees of that drill blank surrounded by the triad gel. We've cured this material for 20 seconds from each side, so here again we just loosen the knurled nut, lift the vertical spindle of our surveyor straight up in the air, and first grasp the drill blank and twist it, and then lift it. So we're going to place our record base, which is going to become our drill guide, back on our cast, put our 2.2 millimeter drill blank back in the vertical spindle of the surveyor. Again, position it exactly over the spot where we want our implant placed. Lift it straight up in the air. Triad gel in the space. Lower the vertical spindle straight down and use the large P.K. Thomas instrument to coax or tease the triad gel back up around the drill blank. And we're now going to proceed to cure this 20 seconds each side. And we've now completed curing the triad gel around our drill blank. We simply lift the vertical spindle of our surveyor up. I'm removing the cast. So now what I'll do is again just first rotate the drill blank and then lift up vertically. Now what we want to do is trim these so that we have free access from the buccal or labial aspects. We trim the occlusal aspect. I trim the cervical aspect of the drill guide. And also trim the buccal or labial until I break through or expose the channel that's left by the drill blank. Once I've exposed the channel, again, I just carefully trim the sides. And then, as we've done before with the single tooth implant, we want to be able to take our drill blank and thread it up from the bottom, making sure it goes to place very nicely, but it's a little bit tight. So I want to just carefully trim a little bit more at the sides. Again, thread it up from the bottom and see that it passes freely out to the buccal, which it does, or the labial. And then again, always grabbing my drill blank top and bottom, see that it goes in and out freely, but then once it's in place, there's no mesiodistal sloppiness at all. So it's firmly positioned, but has free access from the buccal or labial. We'll do the same thing to our other implant position. So when I put it in, it's a little bit tight. Now, one thing that this shows up fairly well is there's a small void in this area where not enough triad gel got around the drill blank on the mesial aspect. It's held in quite firmly in that position, and it doesn't freely come out to the buckle. So what I'm going to do is, when this is firmly held in the correct position, I'm going to add just a little bit more triad gel around this area at the lingual to get a little better surrounding of this. It takes very little triad material. Again, I'm going to take my large PKT instrument and just tease the area around here so I really get good coverage on that triad gel. And here again, I'm just going to cure that quickly for 20 seconds. So I've cured that extra material that I added around part of the drill blank here. And so again, I can use pliers if necessary to free that up and lift it up. So now I have a better surrounding of the lingual 180 degrees of the drill blank. I come right back and just trim the excess material. Trim the excess material. And then make sure that my drill blank can thread up from the bottom very nicely. So on both sides, it freely passes in and out from the buckle or labial, and there's no lateral twisting. Freely passes in and out from the labial and no lateral twisting. So that completes the surgical guide for the 2.2 millimeter twist drill. Now I would follow exactly the same procedure for making the surgical guide for the 2.8 millimeter twist drill. So when we go to make our last drill guide for these, remember that when we go larger than 3 millimeters, we have to remove the knurled nut of our surveyor so that we take our drill blank. Remember that the clamp, one side fits the vertical spindle of the surveyor, the other side fits our drill blank, and so by using our clamp, we can clamp our drill blank in place very nicely. So this is firmly held. What we now do is just like we did before and basically orient our drill blank exactly, I mean exactly over the proposed implant location, lift it up, add our triad gel, carefully lower the drill blank straight down, and then take our Peter K. Thomas instrument, distribute the material around the drill blank, come in and cure it. Same thing on the other side, get the exact orientation, bring it in, lift it up in the air, triad gel in place, lower it back down, use the Peter K. Thomas instrument to distribute the material, and then very carefully come in with the light curing wand and cure it. When both sides are cured, you can just release the clamp, and that will let the drill blank come away. We remove the drill blank, and then taking our acrylic burr, we go ahead and trim it on the occlusal, trim it on the tissue side, and then come in and trim it so that our 3.5 millimeter drill blank can fit in and out very nicely from the buckle, but there's no lateral wiggling. So that completes the making of the surgical guides for the 2 implant overdenture.
You've been listening to a presentation from the University of Michigan School of Dentistry, which is dedicated to supporting open learning and open educational resources. This recording is licensed under the Creative Commons. It may be reused and redistributed for nonprofit use. Please attribute materials to the University of Michigan School of Dentistry and redistribute under this same license. For more information on how this and other University of Michigan School of Dentistry recordings may be used, visit www.dent.umich.edu/license.